Hello, I'm Dr. Heather Hirsch, your favorite menopause expert, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Health by Heather Hirsch. We are talking all about progesterone intolerance. That means progesterone has potentially caused a side effect, and you're here to find out if that could be a side effect and what the heck else you can do, particularly if you're interested on staying on your hormone therapy, but the progesterone may or may not be causing a problem for you. So we're gonna get into that, and I can't wait to talk to you through what your options could be. If you don't know me, I've done a bunch of amazing things in my life. I have this book called Unlock Your Menopause Type. You can get this anywhere books are sold. I also have a private telemedicine practice where you can come and see me as a patient. I have a license in many states and I am growing and expanding with a team of incredible clinicians. It's the best place to get individualized advice and to get expert care at your fingertips right at the comfort of your own home. All right, let's get into today's video, prometrium intolerance. If you are like many women watching a lot of social media and learning about HRT there, you've probably learned about bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with this term, and I have a great video all about what bioidentical really means. But to sum it up, bioidentical is a slang term, and it really means that the formulations of hormone therapy are plant-based. It does not mean compounded, and it does not mean compounded is better. In fact, I recommend FDA-approved bioidentical hormone therapy. Now, the progesterone form of this is called prometrium, or micronized natural progesterone. So the bottle might say progesterone, it might say prometrium, it might say micronized progesterone or prometrium, and that is a plant-based version of progesterone. Because bioidentical is a term that makes a lot of people feel warm and fuzzy, it's probably the most popular progesterone and the most common one that I prescribe. Although, spoiler alert, I do not only prescribe this form of progesterone, and we're gonna get into that in this video. One thing I will say about prometrium is it is a really safe medication and a safe option to use in conjunction with your estrogen. And you must take a progesterone if you're using estrogen as a form of hormone replacement therapy and you still have your uterus, which many women still do. You still need progesterone even if you've had an ablation and you don't bleed. You still need progesterone if you've had a uterine artery embolization. But if you have an intrauterine device that's actually acting as the progesterone, and so that is one specialized way that you could still have a uterus but not take a systemic form of progesterone. Prometrium acts on the GABA receptors in our brain, and it can actually be really strong in making us kind of sleepy and calm. So for many women, progesterone is such a calming medication, and it can be the first time that they have slept through the night in a long time. I will get so many patients calling me saying, Dr. Hirsch, I finally slept through the night. It's been about 5 years. Some patients have really a no response to progesterone or prometrium, meaning it doesn't really give them the warm and fuzzies, but they take it because they know that they have to for uterine protection. Again, the main reason to take the progesterone is to prevent uterine cancer, what's otherwise known as unopposed estrogen, if you're not taking progesterone. Now, there's also a third group of women who will take progesterone and have some side effects from progesterone, and this is what's called progesterone sensitivity or progesterone intolerance. It can range from like extremely severe to it's just not my favorite, and it makes me a little taking it, but I know that I have to. Let's get into those side effects now. It can make some women feel a little groggy. So I know that I said for a lot of women, it can help them sleep. It can make them feel sort of calm. Progesterone is a hormone that rises first trimester of pregnancy. If you've ever been pregnant, you know how kind of sleepy and tired you can feel and just want to lay on the couch all day. But it might not be so helpful if it's really too strong for you and you just kind of feel groggy or sedated on it. That shouldn't be something that happens to you because that's really going to undo all the good effects of being on HRT. Some women feel that progesterone can make them feel a little bloated. Some women also feel like it can cause them to gain weight. Now, I do that in air quotes because it's probably water retention. Not that you're actually gaining adipose tissue, But progesterone can sometimes slow digestion, and therefore you can retain some water. So if there's numbers increasing on the scale, it's actually usually the progesterone that's the culprit. And unfortunately for some women, it might make them a little moody. We don't really know why this is, but again, this is why hormones are, really nothing you want to be playing around with. You want to make sure that you have an expert who is guiding you through hormone replacement therapy, particularly FDA approved hormone replacement therapy, because there's so much that could go wrong and we want to make sure it's absolutely perfect for you. If you think that you're having some of these side effects, what I recommend my patients do is hold the progesterone for about 2 weeks. Now, some women will take progesterone nightly, and particularly the women who felt great with the progesterone love to take it nightly. And some women will take it 12 days of the month. That could be because it causes them some of these minimal side effects, or they would just rather take it less. So I usually have my patients drop the progesterone to see if those symptoms of bloating or sedation or water retention or moodiness go away. If it is pretty crystal clear, because progesterone's in and out of your system really fast, that when you stop the progesterone, or if you saw me, we usually add them one at a time. When you added it, that really did cause the symptoms. That really means that you've got some progesterone intolerance or progesterone sensitivity. For whatever reason, it seems to be strongest, particularly with the micronized natural progesterone or prometrium. Yes, the bioidentical progesterone that we all know and love, that we all hear about all the time on social media, but it really does have a very strong effect on the brain and the guts. So if this is you, we're gonna go to other forms of progesterone next. The one that I tend to go to is often norethindrone. Norethindrone, yes, is a synthetic progestin, but it's also very safe, very well studied, and has been around for a really long time. Norethindrone is typically the main progesterone in birth control pills. And the nice thing about this is you can take it orally, it's not as sedating, and it really can sometimes reduce some of those side effects like moodiness or bloating. You should do a separate trial of using norethindrone, also sometimes called agestin, to see if this is a better formulation for you. Norethindrone also comes in a combined patch called ComiPatch. And while we're speaking of patches, levonorgestrel is another form of progestin that's in something called the Climera Pro patch. This is a weekly patch, but again, now we're getting a different formulation of progesterone and a different route of progesterone, transdermal. That's another thing that I will try with my patients to see if that alleviates some of that progesterone sensitivity or intolerance. Another option is Duve, and I have a whole video on Duve here. Duve is an excellent medication that unfortunately I don't think that you hear about, but I really, really like and often talk to my patients about. It's a combination of conjugated equine estrogens and beta-doxyphene. Beta-doxyphene is not a progestin, it is a SERM. A SERM means that it acts like estrogen in some tissues and unlike estrogen in other tissues. And therefore, it's not in the progestin family at all. But because it blocks estrogen at the uterine tissue, you do not need to take a progesterone with this. Now, Duve is an oral once daily option, but if you have progesterone sensitivity or intolerance, it can be a really great option to try because it does not have any progestin in it, and you actually don't need to take a separate progesterone because of the beta-doxyphene in this medication called Duve. And finally, another option is an intrauterine device. I talk about this very, very commonly. Check out this video if you want an in-depth all about intrauterine devices in perimenopause into the menopause transition. But I recommend this to my patients all the time. And I am telling you with 99% certainty, this is going to resolve the prometrium intolerance. Why? Because the progesterone released in the IUD is local to the uterus only. It's not going to travel into the bloodstream. There's many, many benefits of having an IUD, and I talk all about that in my IUD video. But truthfully, if you've tried the different formulations, if you've tried the different routes like the patches to see if those types of progesterones, are going to be better for you, and nothing is working, I am telling you, placing an IUD is going to be the best option here. It's going to free you up from even having to worry about it or take another hormone systemically, and you can get all the benefits of the estrogen that you need without worrying at all about the progesterone component. You may have actually also heard that you can use prometrium intravaginally. And I will tell you that this can be a good option, but particularly only for the bloating. The reason it sometimes doesn't help with feeling groggy or water retention or moodiness is because that medicine is still traveling systemically. You can absolutely try it intravaginally, but again, these videos are not direct medical advice. Be sure that you talk to your doctor to figure out what option is going to be best and safest for you. Guys, I hope this video was so helpful. If you want, check out my free menopause course in the link below. I'd love to see you as a patient. And if you're a provider and you love my videos and hopefully I've taught you a lot, I have a course now approved for CME for MDs, DOs, PAs, NPs. You are absolutely going to love it. We have a whole sisterhood on the other side. There's guys in there too. And really, this is an incredible group of colleagues all talking about evidence-based medicine and best practices for midlife and menopause. Thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you like it, please give me a comment below. Did this happen to you? Was this video helpful? What actually helped you with your progesterone intolerance? And I'll see you guys next week for a brand new video. Bye everyone.